It's 5 a.m. 5 a.m. in the morning. You need to buy Granblue Fantasy Relink. This might already be the game of the year. I think this game is as crazy as a phenomenon as the way Honkai and Genshin is. I am so serious. I'm going to tell you guys why you should play Granblue Fantasy Relink and the things that you probably didn't know, especially if you haven't been following this game for over 5 years of development. Have you ever waited on the game for so long, you went through the development phases, and then you're still disappointed by the release of the game? Yeah, this ain't no Final Fantasy 15. Chill on me. I love Final Fantasy 15. I swear I've beat it like 8 times. I like that game a lot. Chill out. I've been around with Granblue Fantasy Relink ever since it was called Granblue Fantasy Project Relink. I remember seeing the reveal trailer from IGN, Gamatsu, and so many different places. I didn't know nothing about Granblue Fantasy at the time, but I known that this game, when it comes out, will be something amazing and special. What if I told you this game gives you anime Monster Hunter, God Eater, and Tales of Arise vibes? But before we do, I gotta tell y'all, I have been having a blast streaming this game on my Twitch.
Be careful, y'all. Get out of here, Edo. No.
Ain't no way.
I'm die.
I tried to make it, bro.
Animation.
If you don't follow the Twitch, you're gonna miss out when I stream this game, man. I'm giving y'all a warning now. It's gonna get lit. It's gonna get crazier down the road. But I'm here to review the Granblue Fantasy Relink demo and tell you, based on the demo alone, before I go to any other explanation, should you buy this game online? So the Granblue Fantasy Relink comes with 3 modes. You have a training mode, you have a story mode, and then you have the online co-op mode. Beating the demo in whatever region you play on, you will get a special unlockable for the full game. So it's always smart to play this demo before you go into the game, because it gives you free items. I love demos and tutorials that give you an in-depth first look at the game's tutorial. You play with Gran. Now, you know, if you play Granblue Fantasy versus the fighting game, you know, people meme on Gran for stupid reasons all the time. For once, I will have to say Gran is actually fun to play and is very versatile with his moveset. The game has a pretty unique combo structure that feels very inspired by Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Astral Chain, and essentially, just to let y'all know, essentially just handed the rest over to Side Games in that development department. They pretty much outsource for like the combos, the animation, and art style and graphics. Essentially, think of how like with DNF Duel, like that's an aiding game, but Arc System did the graphical work and art style animation. Yes, you have air combos in this game. You can seamlessly go from the ground to air to transition. You also have different combo routes. You don't have just one combo route. And even if you do feel like you have one combo route, your abilities can be comboed into your normal attack strings or your special button. Each character has different ways they can combo and stack abilities, so you gotta play around and mess with them and learn a lot more. Prime example, I watched so many play Narmaya on Twitch, right? Or just playing it in general since the game came out. And a lot of people could not keep the butterflies. While I understood the butterfly concept because it felt very Devil May Cry-esque inspired, Viola inspired, you know, Virgil, and stuff like that, where you have to just stack and just keep Judgment Cut or the blades. You know, yeah, I ain't gonna go too deep into that. Just know this game has high layers of depth to it that's gonna be beyond just button mashing. And then there's the story mode. The story mode is outstanding in Granblue Fantasy Relink. I think the story mode is probably the spectacle that everybody should try to see if really should you gauge just as your interest to buy the game. This is the part a lot of people are disappointed about, by the way. You cannot do the story mode with friends online. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've been following Granblue Fantasy Relink for at least the last 5 years, right? And personally, I was already in the mind space that it was a single player game before I knew it was a multiplayer when I first saw the gameplay. And 2, when they came out and said, do story mode, I thought it was going to be by yourself. And there's a lot of games in the past that have done this, which is perfectly fine. Payday is a prime example that I strictly think of off the top of my head that lets you do story co-op together with each other. Gotham Knights is... I don't want to talk about that. Y'all get the point. So yes, it sucks that you can't do the story together, but the way Side Games work, if you've been following any of their video games, they will update some stuff if it's a massive disappointment or if they want to make the next installment even better. I used to hate when I played Monster Hunter and then like I would join a quest on something I haven't seen yet for the first time, especially in World. I've had that happen to me a couple of times, I believe. It used to piss me off. So me personally, for my preference, I don't need the story mode to be online. I can do that on my own. And then lastly, you have the online co-op and co-op quest. This game, just if you didn't know, you will have over 100+ quests coming to the game, I believe, online. That means the replayability of this game is akin to like Monster Hunter or even Final Fantasy 14 in a way. It's like an action MMORPG. So if that's your worry that you're gonna play this game for like probably 10 hours and delete it, you're gonna be on this for a minute, especially if you got friends. And if you don't got friends, you got your boy, and you know where to find him. Now, the quests are 3 essential quests that they give you in this demo build. You have pretty much easy, medium, and hard. The first quest being like a monster horde of waves. You have to defeat the monster horde under a certain amount of time. The faster you do it, the more you get rewarded for it. The next 2 are boss fights. Pretty big, similar to Monster Hunter and Tales of Arise in this way. The second boss is Quakedow, which pretty much is a giant bear for Monster Hunter, and he has certain moves in there. And then the final one is the one a lot of people are still struggling on to beat under 3 minutes, is the Earth Golem. Now if y'all play Kingdom Hearts, y'all know what Desperation Moves is. This game has that, where essentially there are overdrive modes for the big bosses. What overdrive modes do for them is that they give them massive armor and they do critical damage attacks. Almost one-hit KO moves, or just completely destroying you if you don't have stuff on to fight against it. However, in this game, there's a way to stagger them even in their strongest attacks. I found this out with a couple characters in the game. I strongly believe characters that have some type of ability to stun or paralyze or freeze will be broken in Granblue Fantasy Relink. I think that's going to be a strong meta in this game, stopping them from popping off, and that helps save time to beat missions under 3 minutes. The Earth Golem is the hardest mission, by the way, so believe me, even though it may be easy to you, doing it with the team might be very challenging, but also very fun, because the determination builds up. You want to conquer the hardest task every mission. But when the full game comes out, you'll probably be able to level up even higher than the monsters themselves, and then come back and speedrun that and get the S++. To me, it's a demo, it's a challenge run, it's not that much big of a deal. This game is an RPG. If you miss something, you most likely can come back and replay it later. Now, I'll tell you the things that I really didn't like at first in the game until I figured out how to fix it. Number 1, I do not like that you didn't have a way to actually train with other characters, especially this game giving you 10 characters. They just kind of want you to just play with them and experience it raw like that, which is fine. But I wish in the training ground they would have gave us an option to pick from the 1 to 10 characters that are in the demo. Also, another big gripe about the game is that you can't really remap the controls in game. They give you an option to remap, like, you know, camera stuff or like lock on, but you can't really change the buttons overall. When Granblue Fantasy Versus launches, we will have 24 playable characters, 4 in each element type so far. And if you feel like the characters are going to get stale and stuff like that, no, each character has its own combo routes that you have to learn and play off of. They even give you a combo list, but then there's other ways to even combo to help stagger the enemy and stuff like that. So there's different ways to optimally play certain characters for certain builds and certain loadouts. It's so many ways to be creative in this game just to play how you want, to optimize for whatever mission or whatever kid or whatever you want to do in the game. For example, I noticed Narmaya for me was probably the easier character because I come from an action game, fighting game background, where it just made sense with how to use the butterflies to stack damage. But I also came to the realization, hey, if I give her sigils or sigils to increase the cooldown, it made Narmaya broken, because now you could have a person that's a strictly healer class, or a person that just wants to do damage with Catalina. You could have people that want to go for critical hits and completely burst out when they want to, or somebody that wants to have a more defensive build with a character. There's so many different ways to play this game already, and this is just a demo. The full game is going to be crazy. That being said, it is Avataryaya. If you guys enjoyed the video, I definitely think you should probably check out Granblue Fantasy Relink. I'm going to let y'all know that I'm probably going to get back to playing. I'll see y'all later.
And I swear I never felt